Well, that's when I ate them while we were ascending.
You ate them all going up.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, are you still good to do it?
Yes. Hang on a second. I just need to grab something from the other room.
Sounds good. So we're back from our tremendous hiatus. We've got a show to do, so many topics still to cover, plus we're adding something new, a sort of hybrid of the normal show, except we add a friend or maybe two you really never know, because B and I intend on shining light on people that we love, which is why we're hanging all the guests out to dry. No, I can't be eating candy corn right now.
Oh. Charlie, do you like candy corn?
I do.
Hell yeah. He's a real one.
It's kind of it's kind of a guilty pleasure. Like I can't really stop myself from eating it. And even and I enjoy eating it, but even while I'm eating it, I'm like, oh, this is gross. No one should eat this. But it's so good.
Yeah.
You're like, no. Wait.
No, yeah, because it's basically just straight sugar, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome back to While the Guest Dries.
Our guest today is Charlie Cosgrove. Hey, Charlie.
Hello, B. Hello, Alex.
Hey. Charlie is a good friend of mine.
And mine.
And B's, right. A good friend of the collective here. He's a great character designer. He tells great stories. He's really good with a damn controller. And he's got a heart of gold.
Aw. Thank you, Alex.
How are you these days?
I'm doing well, thanks. There's not really much to complain about. Things are rather uneventful, and frankly, that's kind of the way I like it. No surprises or anything that really trips you up. It's it's simple and it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Today we wanted to talk to you about something a little less consistent. The weather.
Oh yeah?
So I heard a rumor that you do not like the sun.
Wait a minute.
Let the man speak.
Sorry, Charlie, you can continue.
I could have sworn that had come up in conversation, but I'm harsh sunlight has never really agreed with me. It's not like I sunburn easily or anything. I don't know. I think it's bright and it's hot, and that just doesn't do it for me. I'm much more comfortable in the rain and when it's cloudy.
Okay, so you're not a vampire. You just prefer drearier weather. Right?
Correct. I don't like the sun. I hate garlic, and I'll die if you stab me in the heart with a wooden stake.
Actually, those are facts, though.
Yeah.
Because Charlie, you don't like garlic.
Yeah,
right?
he's serious. He's a real.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but here's the question.
Oh my.
Do you like sorting things?
Sorting things?
Yes.
Yeah. I guess I try to keep things organized when I can.
Shit. These are all surefire signs of vampires, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I wasn't aware that was a common trait among vampires. Was organization.
That's like it's one of the things they say to do if one's chasing you is throw a bunch of objects that are different colors but the exact same, and then they'll kind of just be like, oh, well, you can't just leave that there, and then they'll start sorting it.
That sounds like something you're making up. This sounds like an Alex thing.
Okay, it's there. Actually, actually, it's very possible because I heard it from him. He told me this. So I think about it. This may be made up.
I assure you, I didn't come up with this. So
sure?
it might not
Really?
be true. It might not be true, but it is not. It is something I believe.
Okay. I mean, it does it does sound like an Alex thing, but at the same time, there's also a bunch of strange little myths about all these imaginary monsters and things. Like I heard a rumbling that if you see a werewolf, you can throw their human clothes at them and they'll transform back.
Whoa.
I don't think that's how it works.
I think it's an Old English myth.
Okay, maybe those old English werewolves
Yeah.
will turn back human, but I'm pretty sure as long as they're exposed to the moonlight, then they stay a werewolf.
Well, that's the thing is that's more of a modern aspect of werewolves is transforming back and forth, based on the tides of the moon, or not the tides, but the phases. Because I think the really like older traditional kinds of werewolves are the ones that just transform into wolves or wolf men and then don't change back. They just become monsters and stay that way.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
My experience was it would be like, have you ever watched Abbott and Costello, Charlie?
I don't think so.
They're like these two comedians that are like black. They did like a bunch of black and white movies, but they have an Abbott and Costello Meet the Monsters, and there's a werewolf in it. So that's
The
what
monsters.
Yes.
Yeah, the monsters.
It's like there's like Dracula and a werewolf and like I think there's a mummy. But
Yeah, I get the idea.
But then there's also like Abbott and Costello Meet the Invisible Man or Abbott and Costello Meet the Mummy, like different movies. But that's the main one where they meet the monster.
And do they meet the wolf person in that?
Yeah, and he's really sad that he turns into a werewolf.
Oh, he is sad?
He's like, I can't control myself when I'm a werewolf. And it's sad. But it's like black and white, like 40s, I feel like.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Would you meet the monsters if you were in the 40s, Charlie?
I might run into a situation when I would meet the monsters, but if I had the choice,
yeah,
I'm not so certain. If I knew that, like, under the veil of being a vampire and being a wolf man, they were just normal people, then I suppose I wouldn't mind. As long as I'm sure no one's going to try and eat me, right?
Oh yeah, I guess that's fair. I imagine they get a lot of like a lot of people that forget, that they're monsters.
Okay.
My reporter is telling me that the Meet the Monsters is a collection of their different movies. The Meet the Mummy, Meet Jekyll and Hyde, The Invisible Man, and Meet Frankenstein.
I see.
Frankenstein also has Dracula and the Wolfman in it. So, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, wait. So, Charlie, if you prefer like gray, not sunny days, would you prefer rain or snow?
I haven't. I've had next to no experience with snow. I've been in it a few times when I was younger. 1 or 2 years, we would go up and visit our grandparents for Christmas, and they live in Canada, and snow is part of that national identity. So that would have been a chance to play in the snow, but that was when I was really little.
Right.
When I was before I was even a child, when I was a toddler, my family lived in New Jersey, so there was snow there, but of course I wasn't old enough to kind of, to consciously play in it.
Right.
Right.
And then occasionally, like, our dad will take up some of the kids to the mountains and they'll play in the snow for a few hours. But that's usually when I have things to do. So I don't really go up there. So more of my experience, living in California is rain.
Right.
Which, it's California, so is kind of scarce, but it still happens, and I find it really cozy. I don't necessarily like going out in the rain, but it makes staying indoors really, really comfortable. Because even if it's a little bit colder, it's a good time just to put on some extra layers, grab a blanket, turn on the heater, and just snuggle up and do something nice, like read a book or watch a movie or something.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Do you like the sound of rain? Like, does that enhance your staying at home experience?
Yes, absolutely. The sound is probably the most important part of it, just because that constant, the drip and the pitter patter. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it just makes everything cozier. It's really nice.
Heck yeah.
That's one thing I will say. You don't really hear snow. I mean, you
Yeah.
can hear wind, and you can hear a little bit of like a sort of like a rat-a-tat-tat sound, I guess.
Sure.
But yeah, for the most part, it doesn't have that same like nice sound that rain has.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, I think snow is a lot prettier than rain. Because the thing about rain is that it's all gloomy and dark, which makes the indoors feel brighter. But the snow is also cold. It can also be dark, and that also helps light up the indoors. But snow is also just pretty to look at. You look out and you see it's white and it's glistening and it's all over the place. There's these little flecks falling from the sky, and it's it's very picturesque.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I definitely agree. I mean, there are definitely some moments where it's like, oh wow, it's nice, it's raining, it's pretty. But for the most part, I feel like the prettiness of rain comes from the sound versus the prettiness of snow comes from the look of snow.
Exactly.
And snow is actually like a dampener. I don't know if you knew that, or if either of you knew that. So because it's a dampener for sound. So when you go outside in like thick snow, it's quieter than it would be if there was no snow.
Whoa.
Because
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like sound.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
It makes the earth a little quieter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It's kind of
also, if you're stuck in the snow and you yell, then it's harder to be heard.
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
What were you gonna say?
Yeah, that's part of what makes winters so eerie a lot of the time. And again, we live in California, so we don't get snow here, but secondhand experience from like films and movies and things we've seen is that someone goes out in the snow and it's almost deathly quiet. And that it's a really good place for something creepy to happen. That's why that's why you can tell a really spooky story, pardon me, of someone going out to a cabin in the woods or something and then having to deal with something scary from the woods, like a monster or a ghost.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh dang. Yeah, like a monster that like camouflages in the snow,
Yeah.
Something white.
Yeah. White monsters are really creepy. Just like pure white. It's
Oh my gosh.
Are there any like snow monsters in Monster Hunter, Charlie?
Okay, that's yeah, there are a few actually there are a lot. I didn't expect us to transition into something so niche so quickly, but Monster Hunter has a lot of ice and snow themed monsters. So probably the most, I'd say, iconic one is the Barioth, which is kind of this saber-toothed cat, except its forelimbs have like really big like dactylic, or what is it? Like, how like pterodactyls have, or like, and birds have that, basically have like one long finger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Barioth has that like on the side of its paw, like a regular like wildcat, except it's really like it's really like thick and round, and it also has like spikes jutting out of it. And then, of course, there's the webbing between that and the body, which makes its wings. It's also got a spiky tail with a strange, almost kind of like a two-pronged fork at the end of it. It's a very, it's one of the, like, compared to a lot of the monsters in those games, it's kind of grounded, but at the same time, it is like, it's totally fantastical. So that's, it's like a snowy saber-tooth wyvern. It can spit kind of tornadoes of ice, which is funny.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it can be pretty scary. Let's see. There's also the Lagombi, which is kind of like a mix between a bear and a rabbit. So it's really big. It takes its claws and it digs up a bunch of snow and flings it at the players. And it also has a smooth stomach for gliding around like a penguin, which makes it really fun because it's moving all over the place. So you got to chase after it.
Nice. Oh wow, that sounds kind of hard. Like sliding like a seal, like just like sliding all over the place.
Yeah. It's actually the Lagami is actually a lower rank monster. It's not very challenging compared to other ones. Like the Barioth is usually at the middle to high end of the spectrum in terms of difficulty. And there's a lot of other snow monsters too. I believe one of the new ones from the most recent Monster Hunter game is called Gos Harag, and it's kind of like this bear with a face that looks like a Japanese monster mask. And what it does that's really interesting is it has this icy breath which it spews out onto its own arms and covers them in giant blades made of ice, and it uses those to chop at hunters coming at it.
Wow.
It's a very aggressive, powerful monster, and it's one of the most fun ones to fight from that game.
Dang.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds really challenging. That one particularly sounds really challenging.
Yeah, it is definitely on the higher end compared to the other monsters of that game. I believe you don't get to fight it until you get to the harder difficulty. And it's it's a very interesting weapon, or not an interesting weapon, it's an interesting monster. And the weapons and armor that you make from its body parts are oriented towards the greatsword, which is it's a sword, but it's about the size of a refrigerator. So you're just holding it by the little stick, and you swing it around. And it's actually, you're not even swinging it around. It's more like you're like trying to throw it, and then you're the one that gets thrown around. And but like you and the sword keep each other's momentum going.
Whoa!
Which makes it really fun. It's very it's very difficult because to use because it's a slow weapon. So you don't get to move as fluidly, and you have to be more decisive about when you can actually hit the monsters. But it's a very fun challenge. That sort of not necessarily risk and reward, but the patience and the payoff of it is very satisfying once you get into the swing of it.
Nice.
The fridge.
Yeah.
The fridge weapon. The ultimate fridge weapon.
Would you say that perhaps a white fridge would be a good horror creature?
What?
In the snow, in the quiet snow of the forest, there is a fridge.
Is it just sitting there?
Yeah, it's just sitting there.
Okay, I wouldn't be afraid of that. I'd just be confused and think, oh, maybe some hillbilly left that there.
What if it got closer throughout the day?
Then I would be a little bit worried, and either I would call someone with a truck to come and pick it up and take it to the dump or something, or I'd call just like the garbage company and say, hey, I have something I need to dispose of.
Yeah.
Would you pay the $20 to $50 it costs to come pick up the fridge?
I mean, like, yeah, because I think it's worth $20 to $50 not to have a refrigerator in your yard.
Fair.
Yeah,
That's
fair. Like, if it's just kind of sitting there, there's not really it doesn't look pretty. And are you gonna do anything with it, or is it just gonna sit there?
Yeah.
So I'm very I try to be good about decluttering where I can. I don't always get to call the shots around my family's house, but in my own space, I try to get rid of things that I don't need, or at least find a place to put them.
That's fair.
Find them a home.
Exactly.
Yes.
Even if that home is the dump.
Yes. Even if that home is not your home, it still is a home.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Definitely. Okay, wait. So, rain, right? You like
Correct.
Do you like acid rain?
I don't know why I would like acid rain.
Yes. That's what I was saying.
I don't know why anyone would like acid rain.
You're a rain enthusiast.
You thought maybe you would like acid rain. Okay. She was just telling me about how this is real.
Alex didn't believe me that acid rain was real.
Yeah, it's real.
It's like, and the thing is, for anyone listening at home, it's not what you think it is. I swear, like for real.
Yeah.
So, basically, in the UK, right, and in certain parts of North America as well, that including mostly the United States and Canada, there's so much pollution there was in the 70s and 80s, so much pollution that rain had like a high enough pH to create an acidic amount. It was acid. It was basically acidic, right?
Yeah.
However, it didn't singe people's skin like it does in the funny, right?
In the funny?
In like Garfield and stuff. Like,
wait a second, what Garfield are you reading?
It's like, oh, Garfield, help! I got burned by the acid rain. It's like, silence, John. It's like, I'm busy, right? And then there's laughter. You remember that?
I'm gonna need you to show me that one because I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. But no, it singed statues, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like statues. Statues eroded. But for people, it had a long-term effect.
Right.
But it didn't ever burn their skin. It just hurt their health.
Exactly.
So it's kind of like a status effect. In a weird way.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you're not a fan of acid rain?
Oh my.
Charlie?
I want you to... B, I want you to explain to me how someone could be a fan of acid rain. Really? Because I don't understand what part of it is supposed to be enjoyable.
Okay, picture this. They're like, yeah, acid rain is like, it's really cool, like, there's nothing like it in the world. It's just acid rain,
No.
I don't know what this is.
It's an acid rain.
This guy that you're playing right now, he orders like 3 grilled cheeses at a bar.
I order 3 grilled cheeses at a bar.
Really?
No. Saying that.
Here's my thing. He orders 3 grilled cheeses, and the bar is like, we don't serve grilled cheese.
No, they say that after he already has them in front of him.
We don't serve grilled cheese.
He's like, oh yeah? Look at this. Just eating them.
Wow.
And he's like, I love my acid rain, man.
That's a pretty good interpretation of the guy. I mean, I think mine was better.
Yours was better, I gotta say.
But I've never actually met the acid rain guy in real life, and it turns out it is not Charlie.
No, it's not Charlie.
No. I think acid rain could be used as an interesting concept for, like, for instance, a post-apocalypse story where that's just a thing that happens sometimes, so you gotta have special protective gear. I mean, like, acid. I don't just mean, like, plus 0.1 pH or whatever it is. I haven't been in chemistry for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, like acid storms could be a cool obstacle for some kind of wasteland farer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Especially if you're out smacking the desert or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Acid rain in the middle of a sandstorm.
Oh, damn.
That would be like...
That's a double whopper.
Yeah, that's horrible.
It's a double whopper.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Did you know I learned that it can snow in the desert?
Yeah.
Like, my brain was like, desert, hot, snow, cold. But then I didn't know that deserts could get cold. But then it can snow, like, in the desert.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Huh. It's just one of those things you don't think about, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I live there, so it makes sense why I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deserts are really interesting because they are the hottest places on Earth, the sandy ones. But then at night they get ridiculously cold. Like colder than a lot of the regions we do consider cold regularly. But even then, desert doesn't just mean like a bunch of sandy dunes or, rocks and cactus and all that. A desert is just a land that is relatively barren in terms of life, which makes the North and South Pole, or no, actually no, the North Pole has enough life. I think it's the South Pole that has so little life that it's widely considered a desert.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Yeah. I think that's another interesting concept I would like to see in a story or something, where like they don't have a desert region, but they go north and they go into the frozen desert or whatever artsy term you would like to use to call it. I think that would be something really cool to see in a story.
The dessert.
Damn it. Yeah. That's good.
I remember asking someone like, "Oh, what would you bring onto a deserted island?" They were like, "A glass of milk." I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, deserted island." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, stop."
Oh man.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, no one ever said that. Like no one has ever said deserted island.
Like desserts, desserts.
Not even flapjack. And they actually had like a dessert island.
Yeah, they did.
Flapjack?
Yeah, Candied Island. That was like their whole goal.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What?
The
Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack? I've shown you clips.
Well, I've seen clips, I guess.
Oh.
Oh man, I guess that's something new for the two of you to do.
Yeah,
watch all of Flapjack.
Yeah, I can't. I'm surprised actually. Okay.
Is it Cartoon Network?
Yeah.
That's why.
Oh.
I think we talked about this on our other episode.
I see. Well, then we won't dwell on it.
We won't dwell on it for this episode, but
okay.
Yeah. Charlie, would you rather use a raincoat, a poncho, or an umbrella? You can only have one.
I'd say a raincoat.
Really?
Yeah. I don't really, let's see, ponchos get kind of cold underneath. Like, they're really good at keeping you dry, but unless you already have a jacket or something, then you're still going to be really chilly under that. And then umbrellas are fun, but it's also a thing that you have to carry around, and then you have to put it somewhere where it's not going to drip and make a mess. And not every place, especially here in California, has a one of those umbrella baskets where you can just stick them all and then grab it when you're leaving.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think rain jacket is it keeps you dry, it keeps you warm, and you can wear it on your person if you don't have anywhere to hang it. So,
that's actually a really good point. I know the one time Alex and I went out on an adventure in Pennsylvania, and it started to rain, and I pulled out my emergency poncho and I put it on. But the problem was the sleeves didn't cover my sleeves. Like, you had a short sleeve, and my sleeves were long sleeves, and it wasn't freezing, but it was definitely chilly. I think, or was it not chilly?
It was chilly.
It was chilly because it was raining, and because we had water ice.
And because it was Pennsylvania.
Okay, I digress. So that's why ponchos have a bad taste in my mouth, because they only go like halfway down your arm, unless you put your arms inside the poncho, and then that kind of defeats the purpose. Because you can't use your arms. You're sort of waddling around. Like, what am I supposed to do?
That's kind of cool, though. You know?
I mean, yeah.
You look like a specific character type, you know? Armless
water person.
Armless water person.
Okay, wait, Charlie. So, do you hate the sun?
I don't hate the sun. I hate it when it's really hot and it's really bright. But on a normal balmy day, it's fine. I'll go out in the sun, and sometimes it even feels really nice if it's warm.
Okay, cool.
You've said that 3 times against him.
So you don't hate the sun, but do you like the beach?
No, I despise the beach.
Okay, wait, why?
No. Alex is laughing because we've had this conversation and I've blurted it out all the time. But
I felt so bad, man. A whole group of us, for the listeners, came to my place over in Long Beach the first year of college. I invited everybody over, and we took like a walk to the beach from my house, and this was before I really knew that Charlie didn't like the beach or the sun, and I didn't provide him with any sunscreen either, so he was just sitting there kind of like near the
hang on real quick. The sun thing is not a sensitivity issue at all. I don't like sunburn too easily. I just don't like it. It's just bright and hot.
I just like the sun, you
know. My skin doesn't have an issue with it. It's me personally.
Interesting.
But continue, please.
Okay, I was gonna say because your nose got red. Like,
my nose does get red.
So, yeah, and like I remember looking at your nose and being like, "Oh fuck!" He not only is he not having any fun, but his nose is all red. I was like, "Oh, dude," and I was like, "Oh man, are you good?" And he was like, "Yeah, I just don't really like the beach." I was like, "Oh shit." But yeah, that's when I learned that he did not like the beach.
Interesting.
Or the sun too much.
Yeah. So wait, but so if it was like a medium temperature day, not like a slightly overcast, do you not like the beach because of the ocean, because of the sand? Like,
I don't like it because of the sand, because of the ocean, and because of the wind.
So everything about the beach.
I hate the sand for the same reason that Hayden Christensen hates it, which of course is the fact that it's, it gets everywhere. You wear shoes or even sandals and you're picking it out from between your toes all the way home, even after you take 2 baths. So that I don't like sand that much at all. The ocean also makes it actually exacerbates the sand problem, because wet sand, sticks and it's even harder to get out. So, you could wear sandals and that makes it easier to deal with the sand. But then, you go in the water and then your feet get wet and your feet are wet in your sandals. And then the sand is sticking to your sandals and to your feet and it's everywhere.
Yep.
And the ocean water, And this is probably just because I've been to the wrong beaches. Jeebs, I don't know what's going on today. This is probably just because I've been to the wrong beaches, but I've never been to one with particularly clean water. Not that it was polluted, but just that, there was a bunch of seaweed and sand in it.
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of beaches and, on TV and of other places where it's nice and clear and it actually looks really inviting. But around where I live, it's it's murky. It's not gross, but it's not exactly, I don't know, it's not exactly nice. And that's I think a lot that's just comes from the fact that we live in a time with so much freaking ridiculous comfort and things that we have unreasonable standards of nature.
Oh yeah. So that's not all bad. Like for the most part, it's kind of like we did that sort of. Like that's why it's brown. Like at the same time, there are places that are nice.
No, there are. But I'm saying aside from the pollution, there's a bunch of seaweed and sand that gets kicked up in the beaches where I've been, and so that is what I don't like about the ocean.
Right. Fair.
It's interesting that you say that about the watercolor specifically, because you said you were a toddler in New Jersey, and the Atlantic Ocean, I would say, at least in New Jersey, the beaches that I've been to, is definitely even more brown than the Pacific Ocean is.
Wow.
Sure.
So okay. Because I was talking to my family about when's Alex coming back to Pennsylvania to visit? And I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I don't know, probably soon, sometime soon, whatever. And then it was like, oh, he should go to the beach. And then I was like, oh yeah, I was thinking about, because he's never seen the Atlantic Ocean, as far as I know.
Yeah, I have not.
And they were like, yeah, I mean, it's brown. So I'm like, it's true. It's not.
Oh man, I gotta get a sip of that.
But the thing is that the Pacific Ocean isn't gorgeous. At least, like you said, the beaches that I've been to, it's not crystal clear water and white sandy beaches and
yeah. And I'm sure there are places like that in California, but I haven't been there. So that's outside of my personal experience.
That's very fair. We actually, a couple months back before the holidays, we went to one. We went to a beach. Yeah, not just one in general. Called Fisherman's Cove. It's this little area that we got led to. This is not a bit. We got led there by a French lady after my sister wanted to pet her dog. And we explored a little cave.
Mm-hmm.
I see.
Which cool. It was awesome, right? And there was dead shellfish, right? And for that doesn't sound great, but there was living creatures, and it was what?
Yeah, I saw my first anemone.
Yeah, and it was just naturally there, and the water wasn't brown. It was actually kind of clear, and it was the weirdest shit because I was like, what? This is nice. It was a small beach.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty private beach, to be honest.
But it was open to the public.
Yeah, it was open to the public. It wasn't oh, this belongs to us. But it was kind of tucked away. You wouldn't really know about it unless this lovely French woman.
Right. Okay. So not private, but secluded.
Yeah, secluded.
Exactly.
Charlie. That's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, no. So when you say they exist, they do. But
for sure,
I don't know how to find them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You have to not be looking, and that's when you'll find them.
Yeah, you just gotta jump into things. Is what I mean. Not just
you just gotta jump up and down.
No. Don't do that. Never jump up and down.
What happened?
What happens? Well, I'll let them find out for themselves.
Okay. Anyway.
You ever just got stuck out in hail and you're like, you know?
No, it doesn't really hail around here.
Yeah.
Have you experienced hail, Charlie?
Yeah, there was I don't know if it was hail or if it was sleet, but back at college one night, it suddenly, I think it was hail. It just started it wasn't like big hail, but it was like more ice than people around there had seen fall from the sky in maybe 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We were like, what?
Yeah. So that was kind of a crazy little experience. And it wasn't even like rainy in like at least a week or so before and after.
Oh yeah. That's right. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I'm going to hail today.
Yeah. And and then people went out and they relished in it. I cracked open the window because the really nice part of it was hearing all of it drop on the ground and on the ceiling.
Right.
Which is like I'm never like anxious that something like that is going to cave in the roof, but it is kind of this almost scary. It's not exactly scary, but it is it's an interesting experience hearing something beat down on the ceiling above your head. Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Why do you laugh?
I'm just thinking about Donkey Kong because of what he said.
Oh no!
Well, no, just the idea of Donkey Kong beating down on a roof.
Oh, just to like break through your roof.
And nothing else.
Interesting.
That's a deep cut.
Yeah. So, actually, the hail and like the sleet reminds me of just like ice in general, and how my sister the other day, I took her to Chick-fil-A, and she excitedly swallowed some ice because she likes the shape of it. And then she started choking.
Oh no!
and she got pissed at me because I didn't help her.
Why didn't you help her?
It's ice! It's gonna melt! I was like, just chill. I said, chill out, it's gonna melt. She's like,
if she chills out, it's not gonna melt.
Oh yeah! That's true. Oh my god. And then she finally swallowed it and she was like, I'm telling mom, right? And she texted her, yo, Alex was so mean today. He didn't help me when I was choking on ice. Right? And my mom was like, that's kind of rude, is what she texted me. And I was like, it's ice.
Well, I feel like you can die choking on ice.
It was little balls.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A ice is pretty small, but if someone's like choking on a full-size ice cube, then it might not melt fast enough.
Yeah, that's true.
And you should help that person then.
The whole cube in their throat.
Yes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is it would. Yeah.
No, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. But I guess exactly. Besides the point, they've already done it.
I mean, like I don't think you would swallow a full-size ice cube on purpose, but if it goes down that way, then
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's not you're not intentionally trying to swallow an ice cube, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, I definitely feel like it is dangerous, but I feel like in that situation it was okay.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Do you know what to do if someone's choking?
Yeah, you got to perform the Heineken, right?
Yeah.
Heineken maneuver.
Yeah, Heineken maneuver.
Yeah, that one.
Just
like German or something.
Pour a beer down their fucking throat and watch it melt.
Melt their troubles away.
No, I know what it's called. It's Funny Caterpillar.
It's Funny Caterpillar.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I almost never think about Bug's life, and then someone might say something specific, and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, that is a movie that exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I'm surprised because I thought, Charlie, don't you like Bugs?
I do like Bugs.
But you just, A Bug's Life doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine as a movie. It's definitely, it's not Pixar's most exciting flick, I think.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's funny though. Like I like to just watch it and be like, wow, this is really just a Bug's Life.
Yeah, it really is.
They really did. They really hit home with this one. You know, I don't know. I just like it's simple. You know,
yeah.
And
like knock you for trying to enjoy it.
Oh, what's it called? They're in the bloopers for Toy Story 2.
Yes, they are. Actually, I thought that was hilarious as a kid.
They fucking die.
I know.
What?
That's the whole bit. It's like Flick is like, "Oh, Heimlich, I can't believe you got us Bug's Life 2, right?" And he's like, "Oh, well, about that." And then they just get bodied by Buzz Lightyear, never to be seen again ever.
They're sitting on a leaf, and he just swats them out of the way, like they don't even exist.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
And I never remember to do this, but every time I see that scene, it makes me want to go back earlier in the movie and see if maybe they were there the whole time as a little Easter egg.
Oh my god!
And I doubt it because I feel like I would have remembered seeing them on the 15th or 16th time I rewatched that movie.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It was just a funny little thought that I had years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting. Huh.
On the subject of films and Heimlich, though, I did want to, really quick, I just wanted to point out one of the most interesting little attention to detail things I've seen in a film is in Back to the Future when Marty goes back to 1985 and he saves a guy who's choking, but everyone is amazed at how he did it because apparently the Heimlich maneuver hadn't been invented then.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. It's kind of insane.
I thought that was old.
I know. That's the kind of thing you would think was invented like early 20th century.
Yeah.
At least.
Dang. That's nuts.
Yeah. Wait, did I say he goes back in time to 1985? I meant 1955.
I think you said 85, but...
Okay, yeah, I meant 85. If they made Back to the Future now, he might go back to 1985.
Yeah.
But
hopefully they don't do that.
Hopefully. unless it comes out all right, because sometimes they remake or reboot films and it actually works.
And actually, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't know if there's a lot of people who would say that you could never recapture the magic of those films, but in terms of that sort of thing, I try to keep an open mind because there's all sorts of ways that you can take original concepts and then do something almost completely original with them. Like, I think one of the best cases for reboots is not a film, and this is just because this is the realm where I have more experience. But in video games, Doom is like one of the most classic, iconic games in history, and its influence is everywhere basically. But then in 2016, they kind of sort of rebooted it, remade it, but instead of just like taking it and saying, okay, we're going to put a fresh coat of paint on this, they basically made a whole new game and they took the core elements of moving fast and shooting and violence and cranked it up to 10, pumped it full of synth metal, and it's this like crazy white knuckle 100 miles a minute action shooter that's one of the best on the market ever. So that's that's the kind of thing that convinces me never to write something off just because they're remaking something old.
Huh.
Interesting. That makes sense. Like whenever they do a remake of something, I always try to see it as like a different version. It's like, instead of going to be like, let's see how different or how the same it is to the original.
Yeah.
Book to movie to movie, whatever the case may be, to be like, this is a new form of media. This is like completely different sort of vibe. And it helps you enjoy the media a lot more.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they were able to do that with a video game.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of thing is you have to judge everything by its own merit, but I try to do that with everything that I do, but if it's specifically calling back to something else, then as much as you might want to avoid it, you still kind of have to compare it to the original. So there's expectations riding on that, and then you're never going to get away from the question which version is better.
Right. Yeah.
Even if they're doing different things, they're still the same item, and if you can only do one, which one are you going to do?
Right. Yeah. That's like, it's sort of like you have to pick which one's better, and it's like you do have a favorite, even if they're completely different. You might prefer one over the other, and that doesn't mean the other one isn't good, which in some cases it is, or is not better. But it's very opinion based. It's not this one's better because it's the movie, or this one's better because it's the original. There are objective things and subjective things that make media and entertainment like sorted into categories.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And you know what the big problem is with all of these expectations and people like having ideas and saying, the original is better. The problem is that most of the time these companies are taking something that people already love to death and then just doing it again. So like people, there's going to be like probably most people who really like the original are still going to be attached to the original, and they're not going to think, you know what, this new version is shinier and has higher production value, so now this is the one I like. Mm-hmm. It's very rare that you're going to get something like that. But what these companies, these corporations should be doing is they should be taking like films and stories that are considered bad or didn't work for certain reasons or for certain limitations at the time, and then moving forward with new technology and modern storytelling sensibilities to make those stories work finally. So then you don't have the question of which version is better, because the old version sucks, but it had some good ideas, and those are finally brought to light in the new version.
Right.
And it's kind of mind-boggling that they don't do that more often.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I feel that, because like there are some movies that I've seen that are like old movies, and it's like, I really like this, but people wouldn't necessarily pick it because it's a quote-unquote old movie. And I'm talking like 40s, 50s movies. So like not 100 years old, but older, where a younger audience isn't going to be like, wow, I really want to go watch this movie. But if they took that storyline and changed it or like revamped it in a way, it could be a disaster, but it could turn out to be something really great. So
okay.
Yeah.
And it's not like they've never done this, because I'm pretty sure Disney, I think Disney actually gave that kind of thing a shot a few years back. There was a film about a kid and his imaginary or invisible dragon.
Oh, Pete's Dragon.
Pete's Dragon.
Yeah. So from what I gathered, no one really thought very highly of the original film.
Yeah.
And so Disney took that as an opportunity to try and make something new with the concept. And I haven't seen the new one, so I don't have any opinions on it. But I think that's the kind of thing that they should try to do more often if there's something worth salvaging there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there is one case where it actually did work. And it's going back to video games because that's where I have more experience with media personally. But the Hitman franchise, in which you play as a super assassin, who goes around killing people as silently and invisibly as he possibly can, is really interesting because the first, I don't even know, they had like two or three they had like 2 trilogies worth of games that they made, and none of them worked exactly the way they were intended. They all had these ways in which they would screw up, and it was trying to make a world that felt alive, but they never hit it on the head. But then a few years ago, they rebooted the franchise, and now because of the advancements we have in AI and game scripting and everything, they were finally able to make a world filled with systems and clocks and schedules and things that could actually feel alive. Like all of these characters would move around and do specific things because those are their jobs, right? You have security and you have maintenance and you have all these opportunities where you can use the systems of the game and the events that are going on in the story to find an opening to get in on your target and make your kill. And it's really fascinating, like how smoothly it works considering they weren't able to do it in the past.
Right.
Huh.
Wow. That's kind of nice. It's kind of fulfilling.
Yeah.
They had something ahead of their time.
Exactly.
Okay. I think I'm starting to understand why you give those a chance. Because maybe we're just not seeing what they're seeing.
Exactly.
Whoa. Nice. Charlie?
Yes, sir.
What's something that you want to do in your lifetime?
What's something I want to do in my lifetime, huh?
Mm-hmm.
In any specific regard? Like socially or some kind of accomplishment?
It's really up to you. Just something you want to do.
Okay. I think I'd like to be in peak physical condition at 65 years old.
Whoa!
I think I want to have. I don't want to be a bodybuilder, but I don't want to be any more feeble at that age than I would be at, say, 35.
Oh.
And it's gonna take a lot of exercise and motivation and dedication. But I think like generally right now I'm trying to work on myself, and I think if I can develop the right habits and do the right things consistently, then I'll be able to maintain my form really well into old age. I think that'd be really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Not the answer I was expecting.
No, same, but that's wow.
That's a good goal. Like that's an unusual goal, but a very Charlie goal, but also like a good goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of those at once. That makes sense.
What? Yeah, no. Thank you for answering that. Honestly. we've been asking our guests that, and it's actually really interesting getting that insight through just one question.
Yeah.
Charles, I believe you're dry. I mean that in the most loving way. Here at While the Guests Dry, we strive to get every guest as dry as they can, belligerently washing them in our washing machine. But if this show was called While the Clothes Wash, they'd be soaking right now. But guess what? You people want to see them dry. That's what you get. Charlie, this has genuinely been a wonderful episode, my man.
I'm glad I was here for it.
Yeah, thank you
for inviting me.
Yeah, of course, man.
I appreciate. I now know more about you than I did at the start of the episode, and that's always a beautiful thing that happens sometimes. Is I know more about someone after they've been hanging out on the line for a little while, getting all dried out. I hope you didn't get too offended by the sun as it was helping you dry.
Oh my god.
I'm never going to hear the end of this from you, am I?
I mean, it's a little bit of a bit because I love the sun.
No, I know. It's a big part of your personality.
But you like me, so I guess it's okay.
Of course.
I guess we're all good. And I do like rain as much as one can like rain. And I see the value and importance. But I'm glad that you were able to get all dried out, hanging out there on the clothesline.
Yeah. Any last thing you want to say to the people listening? Charlie?
Nothing I can think of.
Oh. Good.
Good answer.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening. We love you. Thanks again to Charlie.
Charlie Cosgrove.
Thank you again for having me.
Yeah. And we'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.